This is what the Detroit Lions need to do in the 2023 NFL Draft. Ryan Wilson and Josh Edwards from With the First Pick podcast here to provide an ultimate draft for the team with picks at number 6 and number 18. All right, Josh, let's jump into the old NFL mock draft database simulator. All right, so the first 5 picks are already off the board. And to recap quickly, scroll left, Devo, so I can let people know what happened here. C.J. Stroud goes first overall to Carolina, followed by Bryce Young, and then Jalen Carter third to Arizona. Devin Witherspoon goes third to Indianapolis, no quarterback there. And finally, Tyree Wilson goes 5th to the Seahawks, which leaves, Josh, Will Anderson on the board for the Lions to play alongside Aiden Hutchinson. Do you have any issues with that?
Not at all. We can sit here 10, 15 minutes, however long the NFL needs to act like we don't know what our pick is, but that's going to be the choice at the end of the day.
Turn in the card, Debo. We'll pretend we'll be on our phones, making phone calls, wheeling and dealing. Let's not overthink this. So, again, we have pick 18, which is great for us. And, again, you can go any number of directions here. Bijan's staring you in the face.
What, you don't want to take Lucas Van Ness and really just double down on the edge rusher position?
I know, right? Let him gain 20 pounds and move him inside. Then you have Van Ness, Will Anderson, and Aiden Hutchinson. Any thoughts on Bijan?
I do like him quite a bit. Who do they have on the depth chart there? Is it DeAndre Swift? Who else?
So they have DeAndre Swift, and they also have David Montgomery, who signed the deal coming from Chicago. Right. Then after that, Craig Reynolds, who's been the backup there and is flash at times, and Jamar Jefferson, who hasn't gotten a lot of run. So,
I mean, it's good value. I'm okay with it. I mean, you talked to Rick, and he was comfortable with taking him at number 10 overall if he was the best player available. And Bijan is the best player available here. So if you're not looking to extend DeAndre Swift, then go ahead and clean the slate, go with Bijan, and we'll just start over at the position.
Offensive line is in pretty good shape. They can add some depth on the interior. They don't need to do that right now. You're not taking Osiris Torrance over Bijan, I don't think, here. That would seem to be overkill. Linebacker is a need, but again, you're not taking Drew Sanders over Bijan Robinson, I wouldn't think. Tight end, maybe. There's a million tight ends in this class. Bijan it is, I think, Debo. Turn it in. All right, next up, pick 48. By the way, Bijan helps Jared Goff as well, and that's sort of the point. All right, pick 48. Oh, my gosh. Josh, why don't we just wait? Jahmyr Gibbs is still on the board. We could have taken him at 48. Also on the board, Drew Sanders.
Yeah, I think that's probably an appealing direction. Jack Campbell's there. Luke
what about
Musgrave.
Hooker?
If I didn't consider a quarterback in the first round, I probably wouldn't consider one here either, just because I'm not as high on Hendon Hooker. But if you have a conviction about him, I'm good with that. Otherwise, it's probably Drew Sanders as the board fell to us.
The problem is that Hendon's 25, and Jared could play for another 2 years, so then he's not playing until he's 27, and then he only has 2 years left on his deal. There are a lot of issues there. Any other position we want to look at, or are we going to take Drew Sanders?
No, because I think we can wait on tight end a little bit. Defensive tackle.
Too late. Debo turned the card in. Debo, you'll be getting fired after this draft class. All right, 55. Let's look at defensive tackle. Keanu Benton, who I like a lot. Siaki Ika is still there as well. Jervon Dexter. Zach Pickens, I like a lot. Carl Brooks, I like a lot. So we have a lot of guys to choose from. So let's look at tight end real quick because we have some depth here and maybe see what that board looks like. So Tucker Kraft is the only one left. I do like him. I like him as a sort of a mid-third rounder. So 55, maybe a little rich for me. What do you think?
I like Keanu Benton. I think he's going to be taken a little bit higher than where he's projected here. So I'm comfortable with that. I think he's a really talented player. He showed a little bit more pass rush ability at the Senior Bowl. Very stout interior defensive tackle. I think he's the type of guy that Dan Campbell would look to target.
Done. All right, 81. We're now into round 3. We'll see if Tucker Kraft's still there. Tucker Kraft is still there. I don't know if you like Schoonmaker better or Zach Kuntz. I don't like Zach Kuntz that high. I do like Schoonmaker a little bit. Brenton Strange is a guy, too, by the way, that is sneakily moving up some boards. I like him as well. So we have a couple of tight ends to choose from here. Is there another position you want to look at?
Is there any speed at wide receiver? Any?
Guess who we got, Debo?
There's our guys every time.
Our guy Marvin Mims there. So just to recap, they have Jameson Williams, to trade for him last year, the first round pick coming up ACL. Josh Reynolds and Amon-Ra St. Brown, of course. They got Marvin Jones back on the roster. Khalif Raymond and Quintez Cephas. So they have some depth there, but they don't have any. Jameson's electric, Amon-Ra's electric. So they have two guys, but
Right.
I feel like a Marvin Mims or Tyler Scott could do some damage there. I feel like a Jonathan Mingo would be repetitive in some degree in terms of just sort of he's more than just a possession receiver. He can do more than that. But you want to go with a receiver here, or do you want to go tight end?
Well, I'm looking at our next pick. It's not until 152, so I'm thinking maybe we take the tight end, take Tucker Kraft to replace T.J. Hawkinson, and just kind of move on.
All right, done. We'll circle back on the wide receivers at 152, Debo, see where we're at there. 152 gets us into round 5. We have 152 and then 159, so we have picks pretty close together. All right, Charlotte Jones, Kayshon Boutte. I will not be drafting you here. Parker Washington is the guy that I like. All right, here we go. Xavier Hutchinson, Charlie Jones is still there. Dontavian Wicks, excuse me. See, a lot of our dudes got drafted here. Trey Tucker. I love Trey Tucker. He's just so small. What do you think with the wide receivers, or you want to look somewhere else?
Xavier would be the one that stands out. Xavier Hutchinson, the wide receiver from Iowa State. Who's the best available right now? Real quick.
Oh, Byron Young's up there too. I like Byron too.
Oh, I do like Byron Young quite a bit.
Are we okay doubling down on interior defensive linemen? I don't think there's a problem with that. What do you think?
I'm good with it because I believe in building through the trenches, so I am totally good with that unless you prefer Xavier Hutchinson.
No, I don't. I prefer Byron Young. I would take Byron Young on day 2. So, all right. So now we're going to be to 159, and then we'll see. Let's see if Hutchinson's still there at wide receiver, Debo. He's not, but Charlie Jones is. Charlie Jones ran well, but he's more of a possession receiver. Anything stick out to you there? We're getting into slim pickings. We're sort of taking best available. I'm okay with Charlie Jones here. I don't hate it, but I don't know what you think about it. That's around 5.
I don't hate it. It doesn't necessarily excite me either. Who's the top available overall? Real quick.
Oh boy, Tanner McKee.
Yeah,
that's not happening. Schoonmaker, we have a tight end. Jalen Jones gets my attention.
Yeah, I like that. A little bit of size of the position.
KJ Henry, edge rusher. I had depth there. What do you think? Oh, Yasir Abdul. I like a lot. 234. Brenton Strange is still there. We're going to double up on the tight ends. All right, I'll let you make the pick, Josh. We have a lot to choose from, actually.
Let's go with Jalen Jones. Why a little bit of depth at the cornerback room?
Yep.
Signing Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley in free agency, but give somebody that they can develop a little farther.
Yeah, and I'm surprised we didn't address this earlier. I put that on Debo for running the ticket up too early. All right. Pick 183. We are now in the 6th round with 2 picks here. 183, best available. Our guy, Saladaveri, is there. Offensive line-wise, we have done nothing. Correct?
Yeah.
You want to take Saladaveri here?
Yeah, I think that's a home run.
All right. ODU has position flexibility, Finally, one last pick in round 6, and then we'll be done. Pick 194. Okay, Gardner, I'm not particularly high on him. Dylan Horton, a little stiff for me. Braden Daniels is there, adds more depth along the offensive line. Keaton Mitchell is an explosive running back, running the 4.3. He's only 179, mostly an outside guy. Cameron Latu, the tight end out of Alabama. What do you think, Josh?
So I'm leaning towards doubling up on one position, whether that is tight end or the interior offensive line. I'm looking at either Braden Daniels or Josh Wiley.
Let's go Josh Wiley to represent your Cincinnati Bearcats. They're not yours, but you're close by. So we'll give him a little shout out. And I think that's a wrap on the Lions draft. So how'd they do? Will Anderson at number 6. He was somehow available. Then at 18, Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas. Didn't take a cornerback there, but that's okay. We got Drew Sanders to play defense. Keanu Benton to play linebacker. Keanu Benton along the defensive line. Tucker Kraft, the tight end out of North Dakota State. South Dakota State, excuse me. I always get this mixed up. Byron Young, more depth along the defensive line. Jalen Jones at cornerback. Nick Saldivari out of ODU, position flexibility along the offensive line. And finally, Josh Wiley, tight end out of Cincinnati. That wraps up the perfect Lions draft class. Make sure to subscribe to NFL on CBS on YouTube and download the With the First Pick podcast. Stay tuned for more Ultimate Mock Drafts.